Welcome to English Teaching Friends. Today, we are going to learn English through simple and meaningful short stories. In this lesson, you will listen to stories, learn new vocabulary, understand the meaning, and repeat useful sentences that you can use in everyday life. Listening to stories is one of the easiest and most enjoyable ways to improve your English. So sit back, relax, and enjoy learning English with me. Let's begin with Story 1. Story 1 is called The Lost Key. Once there was a boy named Daniel. He lived in a small apartment near the city center. One morning, Daniel woke up late because his alarm clock didn't ring. He jumped out of bed, grabbed his backpack, and ran to the door. But then he stopped. He couldn't find his house key. He checked the table, the sofa, the kitchen counter, and even inside his shoes. The key was nowhere. Daniel took a deep breath and said to himself, "I need to stay calm." He slowly went back to his room and looked again. This time, he saw something shiny under the bed. It was the missing key. Daniel smiled, picked it up, locked his door, and hurried to school. On the way, he said, "Next time, I will keep my key in one safe place." Vocabulary: alarm clock, the device that wakes you up. Backpack, the bag you carry on your back. Nowhere, not anywhere. Stay calm. Be relaxed and not panic. Repeat after me. I need to stay calm. I will keep my key in one safe place. I found the missing key. Now let's talk about the meaning. This story teaches us that sometimes we lose things because we are in a hurry. When we slow down and stay calm, we think more clearly and find answers more easily. Now let's move to Story 2. Story 2 is called The Helpful Stranger. Sophia was traveling alone for the first time. She arrived at a busy train station where hundreds of people were rushing to catch their trains. She looked at her ticket and tried to find Platform 7, but she couldn't see any signs. She felt nervous. Suddenly, an older woman walked up to her and asked, "Do you need help?" Sophia hesitated, but then she said, "Yes, please, I am looking for Platform 7. The woman smiled and pointed the way. Sophia followed her directions and finally reached the right platform. She felt thankful. Before leaving, she turned around to say thank you again, but the woman was gone. Sophia never saw her again, but she always remembered the kindness of that helpful stranger. Vocabulary: platform, the place where passengers wait for the train. Hesitate, pause before speaking. Kindness, being friendly and helpful. Repeat, do you need help? I am looking for Platform 7. I always remember kindness. Now let's continue with Story 3. Story 3 is called The Little Garden. A young girl named Aisha lived in a crowded neighborhood with very little open space. One day, she found an empty corner beside her house. The ground was dry and the soil looked hard, but Aisha wanted to plant flowers. She brought a small shovel, dug the soil, removed stones, and planted seeds that she bought with her pocket money. Every morning, she watered the seeds before school. At first, nothing happened. Days passed, and Aisha began to feel disappointed. But she didn't stop caring for her little garden. And one bright morning, she saw a tiny green leaf coming out of the soil. She jumped with joy. Slowly, more leaves appeared. After a few weeks, colorful flowers bloomed. People in the neighborhood smiled whenever they walked by. Aisha learned that patience and effort always bring results. Vocabulary: pocket money, small amount of money children receive. Seeds, small objects used to grow plants. Bloom, to produce flowers. Effort, hard work. Repeat, patience brings results. I will take care of my little garden. Flowers bloom when we don't give up. Let's continue with Story 4. Story 4 is called The Rainy Day Decision. Lucas had planned a fun picnic with his friends. They prepared sandwiches, fruits, and drinks. They chose a beautiful park outside the city. But on the morning of the picnic, the sky turned dark and heavy rain began to fall. Lucas felt upset. He didn't want to cancel the picnic. His friends called and asked, "Should we still go?" Lucas thought for a moment. Then he said, "Instead of the park, let's have the picnic indoors at my house." Everyone agreed. They brought their food and games, and they spent the whole day laughing and talking. Even though the weather changed their plans, they still had a great time because they stayed flexible and positive. Vocabulary: picnic, eating outside with friends or family. Cancel, to stop or end a plan. Flexible, able to change easily. Repeat, we can change the plan. Let's stay positive. We had a great time indoors. Lesson meaning: sometimes situations change unexpectedly, but what matters is how we react. A positive attitude can turn a bad day into a good day. Now let's continue with Story 5. Story 5 is called The Honest Shopkeeper. In a small town, there was a shopkeeper named Kareem. One afternoon, a customer accidentally dropped a wallet on the floor while buying groceries. Kareem noticed it. When he opened the wallet to find an ID, he saw that it was full of money. He immediately ran outside and searched for the customer. After a few minutes, he found the man looking worried. Kareem returned the wallet and said, "You dropped this." The man checked it and said, "Thank you. Everything is here." He was extremely relieved. Kareem simply smiled and said, "Honesty is important." From that day, the customer told everyone about the shopkeeper's honesty, and more people started visiting his store. Vocabulary: wallet, a small case used to carry money. Groceries, food items you buy from a store. Relieved, feeling relaxed after worry. Honesty, telling the truth and doing the right thing. Repeat, honesty is important. You dropped this. I am relieved. Lesson meaning: doing the right thing always brings respect and trust. Now let's go to Story 6. Story 6 is called The Broken Phone. Emma loved taking photos with her phone. One day, she was walking near the river, holding her phone in one hand while eating ice cream with the other. Suddenly, a bird flew very close to her, surprising her. Emma dropped her phone, and it landed on a large rock. The screen cracked badly. She felt sad and blamed herself for being careless. When she got home, her mother said, "Accidents happen. What matters is learning from it." Emma saved money for a few months and bought a new phone. From then on, she always used a phone case and kept a better grip while walking. She learned the importance of being careful and responsible. Vocabulary: cracked, broken but not completely. careless, not paying enough attention. Responsible, doing things with care and thought. Repeat, accidents happen. I will be more responsible. I learned from my mistake. Lesson meaning. Accidents can happen to anyone. What matters is learning from it. Now let's go to Story 7. Story 7 is called The Missing Cat. Lily had a cat named Snowball. Snowball loved exploring the small streets around their house. One evening, Lily noticed that Snowball had not returned home. She waited and waited, but the cat didn't come back. Lily felt worried. She walked around the neighborhood calling Snowball's name. Her neighbors also joined her search. After an hour of walking, Lily heard a soft sound. She looked under a parked car and saw Snowball shivering. The cat was scared of the loud noises nearby. Lily gently picked her up and said, "I'm here. You're safe now." Lily thanked the neighbors and took Snowball home. That night, Snowball slept close to Lily. Vocabulary: shivering, shaking because of fear or cold. Neighborhood: area around your home. Gently, softly and carefully. Repeat: you're safe now. Thank you for helping. I was worried. Lesson meaning. When we care for someone, we don't give up easily. Community support can also make difficult situations easier. Now let's continue with Story 8. Story 8 is called The New Student. A new boy named Mateo joined Sarah's class. Mateo came from a different country, and he didn't speak English very well. On the first day, he sat quietly and didn't talk to anyone. Sarah noticed that he looked lonely. During the break, she walked up to him and said, "Hi, I'm Sarah. Do you want to eat lunch with me?" Mateo looked surprised, but he smiled and nodded. Slowly, they became good friends. Sarah helped him learn new English words, and he taught her about his culture. Their friendship grew stronger every day. Vocabulary: lonely, feeling alone and sad. Nodded, moved the head up and down to say yes. Culture: traditions and way of life of a group of people. Repeat: do you want to eat lunch with me? Let's learn from each other. I am happy to be your friend. Lesson meaning: a small act of kindness can change someone's whole day or even their whole year. Friendship begins with simple gestures. Now let's continue with Story 9. Story 9 is called The Alarm Challenge. Maya always had trouble waking up early. Every morning, she pressed the snooze button and went back to sleep. Because of this, she was often late for school. One day, she decided to change her habit. She placed her alarm clock far away from her bed. The next morning, when the alarm rang, she had to get up and walk across the room to turn it off. This helped her stay awake. She also slept earlier at night. After 1 week, Maya realized she was waking up on time every day. She felt proud of herself for building a better habit. Vocabulary: snooze button, the button that lets you sleep a little more. Habit: something you do regularly. Proud: feeling happy about your achievement. Repeat: I am building better habits. I wake up on time. I feel proud of myself. Lesson meaning: small changes can create big improvements in our daily life. Now let's move to Story 10. Story 10 is called The Power Outage. One evening, Oliver was studying for an important exam. Suddenly, the lights went out. It was a power outage. Oliver felt frustrated because he needed electricity to study. After a moment, he lit a candle and continued reading. The soft light made the room quiet and peaceful. Oliver studied with full concentration. When the electricity finally came back after 2 hours, he felt satisfied because he didn't give up. The next day, he did very well on his exam. Vocabulary: outage, when electricity stops. Candle, a stick of wax that gives light. Concentration, focusing your mind on something. Repeat: I will not give up. I can study even in difficult situations. I did my best. Meaning: when challenges come, we can choose to adapt and continue working. Take a deep breath. You are doing great. Now let's continue with more stories. Story 11 is called The Birthday Surprise. Emma and her brother Alex planned a birthday surprise for their mother. They cleaned the house, baked a small cake, and decorated the living room with colorful ribbons. When their mother returned home from work, she opened the door and gasped in surprise. Emma and Alex shouted, "Happy birthday, Mom!" Their mother smiled with tears in her eyes. She hugged them tightly and said, "This is the best gift." They spent the evening talking, laughing, and eating the cake they made together. It was a simple but unforgettable celebration. Vocabulary: gasp, a quick breath in surprise. Decorated, made something look nice. Unforgettable, something you cannot forget. Repeat: happy birthday. This is the best gift. We created a beautiful memory. Now let's continue with Story 12. Story 12 is called The Library Discovery. Arjun loved reading, but he often read the same type of books. One day he walked into the library and decided to explore a different section. He picked up a book about space and opened the first page. Instantly he became interested. He learned about planets, stars, galaxies, and astronauts. The more he read, the more excited he became. He felt like he had discovered a new world. From that day, Arjun promised himself that he would try reading different types of books to learn new ideas. Vocabulary: explore, to discover something new. Galaxy, a large group of stars. Astronaut, person who travels in space. Repeat: I discovered something new. I enjoy learning new ideas. I will explore different books. Now let's move to Story 13. Story 13 is called The Dinner Mistake. Nina wanted to cook dinner for her parents. She followed an online recipe and tried her best, but she accidentally added too much salt to the soup. When her parents tasted it, they laughed and said, "It's okay, Nina. Everyone makes mistakes when they learn." Nina felt embarrassed, but she also understood that mistakes are part of learning. The next day, she tried again and made a delicious soup. Her parents were proud of her effort and improvement. Vocabulary: recipe, instructions on how to cook something. Embarrassed, feeling shy or uncomfortable. Improvement, becoming better. Repeat: mistakes help me learn. I will try again. I am improving. Now let's move to Story 14. Story 14 is called The Beach Lesson. During summer vacation, James and his family visited the beach. James wanted to build the tallest sandcastle. He worked hard, piling sand and shaping towers, but every time he built it tall, the wind blew it down. James felt annoyed. His father walked over and said, "Try building the base stronger first." James followed the advice. He made a wider, stronger foundation. Finally, the sandcastle stood tall and beautiful. James learned that strong foundations help us achieve big goals. Vocabulary: foundation, the strong base of something. Annoyed, irritated or bothered. Repeat. Start with a strong foundation. I can make it better. I learned something new. Now let's continue with Story 15. Story 15 is called The Walk in the Park. Olivia went for a walk in the park after a stressful day at work. She listened to the birds, watched children playing, and felt the cool breeze. Slowly, her stress disappeared. She sat on a bench and took a deep breath. She realized that a simple walk in nature helped her relax and clear her mind. From then on, she visited the park every evening to recharge her energy. Vocabulary: stressful, causing pressure or worry. Breeze, a light wind. Recharge, to gain energy again. Repeat, I need to relax. A walk in nature helps me feel better. I will take a deep breath. Now let's continue. Story 16 is called The Late Apology. Mark and his best friend Leo had an argument over a small misunderstanding. They stopped talking for a few days. Mark missed his friend but felt too proud to apologize. One night, he thought about the situation. He realized that friendship was more important than winning an argument. The next day, Mark walked up to Leo and said, "I'm sorry." Leo smiled and said, "I'm sorry too." With just two simple words, their friendship became even stronger. Vocabulary: misunderstanding, a wrong idea or confusion. Apologize, to say sorry. Proud, too stubborn to admit mistakes. Repeat, I'm sorry. Friendship is important. I will not hold grudges. Now let's continue with Story 17. Story 17 is called The Missing Homework. Hannah always kept her homework folder in her backpack. But one morning, when the teacher asked for homework, Hannah realized it was missing. She checked her desk, her bag, and even the classroom floor. It wasn't there. Hannah felt worried and embarrassed. After class, she went home and searched again. Finally, she found the homework under her bed. She must have dropped it the night before. Hannah learned to keep her things organized. Vocabulary: folder, something used to keep papers. Organized, neat and in order. Repeat, I will stay organized. I found my homework. I learned my lesson. Now let's continue with Story 18. Story 18 is called The Ice Cream Choice. Ella and Mia went to an ice cream shop. Ella liked chocolate and Mia liked mango. But when they arrived, there were many new flavors. They became confused. Ella said, I don't know what to choose. Mia laughed and said, let's try something new. They ordered a mixed flavor ice cream and discovered that they loved it. They learned that trying new things can bring fun surprises. Vocabulary: flavor, taste of food. Confused, not sure what to choose. Surprise, something unexpected. Repeat, I will try something new. This is delicious. I am open to new experiences. Now let's continue with Story 23. Story 23 is called The Exam Fear. Rita was afraid of exams. Every time she opened her book, she felt stressed. One day, her teacher taught her a trick. The teacher said, "Study in small steps. Don't try to learn everything at once. Take breaks. Breathe. Relax." Rita followed the advice. She studied for 20 minutes, took a break, then continued. Slowly, she felt calmer. On exam day, she walked into the room confidently because she had prepared well. Vocabulary: break, a short rest. Calm, relaxed and not stressed. Repeat, I will study in small steps. I am calm and ready. I prepared well. Now let's continue with Story 24. Story 24 is called The Gift of Time. Grandma visited Lucas during the holiday. Instead of buying him toys, she offered her time. They cooked together, went for walks, played board games, and talked for hours. Lucas realized something important. Time is one of the best gifts you can give someone. After she left, he told his mom, "I miss spending time with Grandma." Vocabulary: board games, games played on a board. Offer, to give. Repeat, time is the best gift. I enjoy spending time with you. Now let's move to Story 25. Story 25 is called The Clean Water Lesson. Nora visited her grandparents' village. She saw children walking long distances to collect clean water. She realized that water is precious. When she returned home, she stopped wasting water. She turned off the tap while brushing, took shorter showers, and appreciated clean water more. Vocabulary: precious, very valuable. Tap, water faucet. Repeat, water is precious. I will not waste water. This brings us to our final reflection. Learning English through stories is powerful because stories connect to our emotions, our daily life, and our imagination. You learn vocabulary naturally, understand grammar in context, and remember sentences more easily. The more stories you listen to, the more fluent you become. Today you learned many new words, expressions, and real-life lessons. Thank you for spending your time with English Teaching Friends. If you enjoyed this storytelling lesson, continue practicing every day. Your English will grow, just like the little garden in our story. Take a deep breath. You did an amazing job today. See you in the next lesson.